The death certificates of legendary Hollywood filmmaker Rob Reiner and his photographer wife Michele Reiner have been released, and the documents paint a brutal, heartbreaking picture of their final moments. What they reveal is not just how they died, but how quickly everything ended. According to the Los Angeles County Medical Examiner's Office, Rob Reiner and his wife Michele were both killed by multiple sharp point injuries, inflicted with knife from another in their Los Angeles home. They were stabbed to death, their throats were slashed, and the injuries proved fatal within minutes. The official records list the cause of death for both victims as homicide. 78-year-old Rob Reiner is recorded as dying at 3:45 p.m. Just 1 minute later, at 3:46 p.m., 70-year-old Michele Reiner was pronounced dead. The medical examiner notes the time between injury and death as simply minutes, a haunting detail that suggests the attack was swift, violent, and devastating. The death certificate also reveals their oldest son, Jake, is now the legal custodian of their remains. According to the death certificates, both Rob and Michele were cremated at Mount Sinai Mortuary, and their ashes were released to Jake. Their final place of disposition is listed as Jake's residence. The remains were officially released on December 19th, just one day after a vigil was held in New York City, honoring the beloved director of highly celebrated 1989 rom-com When Harry Met Sally and his wife, whom he met and fell in love with on the sets of the same movie. The brutal killings of Rob and Michele Reiner has left behind shattered lives. The couple was discovered inside their Brentwood, California home on December 14th. It was their daughter, Romy Reiner, who made the horrifying discovery. When police arrived at the scene, they quickly turned their attention inward to the family. Within hours, Rob and Michele's 32-year-old son, Nick Reiner, was arrested. Nick has been charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder, including a special circumstance allegation. He is currently being held at the Twin Towers Correctional Facility in Los Angeles. Prosecutors allege Nick killed both of his parents. The charges are severe. First-degree murder with special circumstances, a charge that could carry life-altering consequences. Nick has not yet been tried, but the legal process is now underway. Nick has already made his first court appearance. The 32-year-old appeared behind glass, shackled, and wearing a padded suicide prevention smock. He did not enter a plea. His arraignment was postponed until January 7th at the request of his attorney.
I just have a couple of quick words. First of all, and most importantly, this is a devastating tragedy that has befallen the Reiner family. We all recognize that. Our hearts go out to the entire Reiner family. There are very, very complex and serious issues that are associated with this case. These need to be thoroughly but very carefully dealt with and examined and looked at and analyzed. We ask that during this process you allow the system to move forward in the way that it was designed to move forward, not with a rush to judgment, not with jumping to conclusions, but with restraint and with dignity and with the respect that this system and this process deserves and that the family deserves. So with that, we are set for January 7th for an arraignment. That's the next court date. And that's all I have to say at this point. There may be more at some other point, but today we're going to rest on where we stand procedurally, which is this was a continuance of arraignment. Nothing happened today substantively. We'll be back for an arraignment in the same department on the 7th of January. We'll see you then.
Nick Reiner, who is accused of killing his parents, actor-director Rob Reiner, and photographer-producer Michele Reiner. These charges will be 2 counts of first-degree murder with a special circumstance of multiple murders. He also faces a special allegation that he personally used a dangerous and deadly weapon, that being a knife. These charges carry a maximum sentence of life in prison without the possibility of parole, or the death penalty. No decision at this point has been made with respect to the death penalty. We have requested, and currently Nick Reiner is being held without bail. So special circumstances is a situation where one of the enumerated factors that lead to elevating in some ways a first-degree murder case to a special circumstance first-degree murder case occurs. One of those special circumstances is called multiple murders. Here we have two, and it qualifies under the definition of multiple murders to allege the special circumstance in this particular case.
He was arrested in a public area, in the Exposition Park area near the University of Southern California campus. He was approached by the officers, and he was arrested without incident. There were no indications that he was going to resist or anything like that. He didn't flee or anything like that. He was taken into custody without issue, and he was transported to our police headquarters facility.
Yesterday at December 14th, about 3:40 in the afternoon, LAPD responded to a residence, the residence of Rob and Michele Reiner, located in West Los Angeles Division. At that location, they found two deceased adults, a male and a female. Through the night, working with the coroner's office, they were able to identify them definitively as Rob and Michele Reiner. We have our robbery homicide division handling the investigation. They worked throughout the night on this case and were able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case. He was subsequently booked for murder and is being held on $4 million bail.